This is Boomer Life on CIL 650.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle,
You want Farouk and I to do? Oh, one boy. Oh, there we go. All right, welcome back to the show. We're talking about sleep and how important a good night's sleep is. And Farouk, you mentioned it's a third of your life you're in bed.
Absolutely.
Now, some people look at it as a waste of time. It's treasured to me. And it should be, right?
Absolutely. That's the only time that our body can go through a recovery, and it needs that to effectively and efficiently perform the next day.
And you can see that in people who aren't getting enough sleep. They're kind of in a fog all day. There's only so much that caffeine will help.
Yes.
You really do need to rejuvenate. So we're speaking with Farouk Manji. He is one of the sleep experts at SleepShop with 4 locations throughout the Lower Mainland. I'll try and remember them again. Broadway, West Broadway, Richmond, Langley, and Abbotsford.
Correct.
And soon the North Shore. That's the first time we've mentioned it, that you're going to have a new location on the North Shore by the end of the year. So that's good stuff. So we sort of talked about summertime. People are going away. They're going to the Okanagan. They're going to Victoria. They're going to Whistler. They're doing some road trips, maybe even flying on vacation. And you go to a hotel and you get a fantastic night's sleep or a terrible night's sleep. Now, I travel probably, I would say I stay in a hotel 80 to 100 times a year. I do a lot of traveling.
Wow. And
I tell people I do anywhere from, 80 to 100 flights a year. So I'm well known at Air Canada. It's bad when the flight attendants go, "Oh, you're back. What are you doing here?" But you get some great night's sleep. And then sometimes you get terrible night's sleep, depending on the bed. It's so important. And the temperature of the room, that's vitally important. So anybody that travels a lot, the number one thing you want is a good bed, a good shower, and the rest of it is just gravy. So what makes a good bed when you go traveling? Like, what are the hotels doing differently than we're doing at home when you get a good night's sleep?
So the first thing is, generally, when people do go away and they have a phenomenal night's sleep and they're like, wow, I got to check out this bed. It's not necessarily the brand of the bed, but if your bed at home is 5 to 10 years old, or even, and I know many people hang on to their mattresses much longer than that, they're not providing the proper support that you need. Hotel mattresses are generally changed every 4 to 5, maybe 6 years at most. So the pillows are important, the type of mattress and, the newness of the mattress as well. And then a lot of them you'll see they create just a whole white aesthetic. And the whole white aesthetic will give you kind of a little more calming.
Soothing, right?
And a soothing feel, exactly.
Now, the number one thing for me with a hotel is the pillow, because the pillow's either too flat or it's way too high and your neck is cricked, right? And so that for me is the mattress is great, but the pillow is really important. And sometimes you call down and you say, "Do you have any other pillows?" And they say, "No, that's it. That's what you get."
Yeah.
And I end up using the pillow off the sofa or something because it's so bad. So that's what you also do at SleepShop. When someone's shopping for a mattress, you have to align it. And I'll tell you something. When I bought my mattress at SleepShop years ago, I bought one of those. Actually, the nice lady, I think she gave it to me as part of the deal or worked it into the deal, was the memory foam pillow from Tempur-Pedic.
Tempur-Pedic,
yeah.
yes.
So I have a Tempur-Pedic pillow.
Okay.
And I probably should have replaced it, but I can't get rid of it. I love it so much.
Yeah, generally pillows you should be changing every 2, maybe 3 years. At most.
Right. I'm well past that.
So-
But I'm not getting rid of this. So do you still sell that?
We still do.
Okay, I got to get a new one.
Yes, we still sell the Tempur-Pedic pillows. But yeah, the pillows, just for hygienic reasons, unless you're using a good quality pillow protector, which you can take off and remove and wash.
It comes with one, yeah.
Yeah, you should make sure that you're definitely doing that. But all pillows generally are made of synthetic fibers. So, memory foam is not a natural thing. It's also a synthetic foam. Over time, it'll wear down. There are pillows that are made outside of pillows. You can get wool pillows as well that give like a down-like feel, and you can contour it and scrunch it up like a feather pillow. But it's all natural. It's breathable. It sleeps very cool, and it's hypoallergenic.
Well, one of the things that hotels do is they often have these big, fluffy down pillows. Well, down pillows end up packing down and they offer no support. So you start out with this big pillow, and then halfway through the night, you wake up because there's zero support.
Exactly.
So I appreciate a down pillow for what it is, but it's not the best for sleeping, in my opinion.
No, absolutely. And there's not one pillow that'll fit all. There's a very small, minute range of pillows that can accommodate a side stomach and a back sleeper, but it's pretty rare. But then again, there's a lot of people that are just primarily a side sleeper or just a back sleeper. So when you do come into SleepShop, we will fit you with the right pillow because there are pillows designed for different sleeping positions.
I have a story about going to probably the fanciest hotel I've ever stayed at. It was a 5-diamond hotel, and it was just outside of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania, rural Pennsylvania. And the guy who built it, it's a big golf course there, and it's a big retreat. People come from Washington, and they rent it out and what have you. And it's a golf community. So a guy who started a big lumber retailer like a Home Depot, but something like that, but in the States. So this 5-diamond resort, when you check in, you have your own butler. It's a bit silly, really. You have this person that comes and brings you coffee in the morning, but they had a pillow menu. Oh. And when you checked in, they said, what kind of pillow would you like? They had water filled. They have like a water bed, but for your head. And then they had down, and they had all of these different ones. So have you ever seen anything like that?
No, that's very interesting. I like the concept.
Yeah, and they had so you call it a bed for your head.
Yes,
and that is true because you've got to match it up.
It's the second heaviest part of our body, and it needs the proper support as much as your body does. And actually, it's interesting. We find a lot of people when we're having them test out the mattresses, and if they're flopping around and not really concentrating on keeping the same pillow with them from bed to bed, it changes the whole sleep experience. So we highly encourage you change your mattress, change your pillow out at the same time, unless you've already got a new pillow. We have customers bringing their own pillows to our stores.
Well, yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
Well, speaking of traveling and going to hotels, my 2 boys take their pillows. If it's a road trip, like we're going to the Okanagan next week, they pack their pillows. Yes. And I would love to take my Tempur-Pedic pillow with me, but I only go carry-on, right? I'd be that guy in the airport, the pillow under my arm, like my blankie. So, this fancy hotel, they had gel, they had down, they had all of these, and they had a water one. Have you ever heard of that?
The water pillow, yes. Yeah. And the design with that is you can basically customize the height and the firmness. So adding more water will add a little more height, it'll add a little more firmness, and releasing the water out, creating a lower profile and creates a little more of a softer feel. So that's essentially the reasoning behind the water
I wanted
pillow.
to give it a shot, but I didn't because I thought I would hear the sloshing of the water in the pillow, but they assured me that you don't.
You don't.
There's nowhere for the water to go. It's sealed.
It is,
in there, right?
yeah. And it's insulated, so you don't really hear it. But
yeah, because if anybody remembers the waterbed days.
That's right.
Did your dad ever sell those back in the day?
We did.
That's not making a comeback.
No, not anytime soon.
I'll tell you what, when I grew up in Ontario, though, I had a waterbed. And it was so nice and warm in the winter.
That's
you got
what
into
everyone
it.
Loved about it.
Yeah, you get into bed and it's nice and warm. Okay, so what other hotels really focus on the bed? Like they're kind of known for that. You were saying Westin has a lab?
Yeah, there a lot of the top ones. The Hilton, the Four Seasons, many of them do use their own sleep labs, where they'll test out a number of different types of mattresses and have different people come in and do the testing. And this is how they will work with the manufacturers. The mattresses that are made predominantly come from Simmons and Serta. They supply a lot of the hotels, but you also have a lot of these smaller manufacturers as well, like Restwell, which is locally manufactured, Restwell Spring Air. They're locally manufactured here in Vancouver. They supply a lot of local hotels in BC and in Alberta.
Now, how many of these mattresses are still made in Canada? Because we hear about manufacturing's all going somewhere else. There's gravity is pulling it south to Mexico or going overseas. Is it still something that we make in Canada?
Huge.
Yeah.
I mean, these manufacturers, some of these, I mean, if you can just imagine, in Vancouver alone, we've got half a dozen mattress manufacturers in Vancouver alone. And each one can do on average of 300 to 500 pieces a day.
Wow.
And that's running through 5 days a week. So,
And these are your go-to people for customization, right?
That's right.
So if you go to local, I remember when we had a Spring Air, and we couldn't get the box spring in because we have a 90-something-year-old house. And it was just the way through the stairs, it wouldn't fit, right?
Yes.
So they did a split box.
Yes.
And a low-profile one, too, because that was too high.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was custom ordered, and it didn't really take long to get it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of having a manufacturer like that. So we can customize the height of the box spring. We can get a split box in case you can't get it up your tight stairwell, or whatever the case. So, and mattresses as well. We can customize the size of any mattress. You need one for your RV or your wall bed or your old waterbed frame. We can make any size.
I said Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, don't they have a huge bed or something and all the kids sleep in there with them?
Yeah, that's right.
It sounds like a nightmare to me. These crazy Hollywood people. Yeah, we'll have a huge bed. Do you ever get a round bed request?
We have.
Yeah?
We've actually made a fully round 360-degree mattress, which was 10 feet all round. So
was his name Austin Powers? Shagadelic, baby.
That's right.
All right, we're talking about sleep and how important it is to you. Farooq Manji is our guest, sleep experts at SleepShop, 4 locations in the Lower Mainland. And before we go to break, I just want to touch on the fact that you're a small chain of 4, but you punch higher than your weight, right? Because you have the buying power of a bigger group. So don't be afraid to come to SleepShop if you're worried about price, because you can go toe to toe with the big guys, right?
Absolutely. Not only that, our brand selection is as good as anybody else, and if not better in terms of the specialties that we do. We'll offer a low price guarantee, and our service. We do the free delivery. We set up. We recycle old mattresses for a small fee. So we do it all.
All right. We'll continue our conversation next on CL 650.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.